Hello and welcome children to my English class. Today we will be doing a lesson from your supplementary reader The Vistas, Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi. The author Tishani Doshi was born on the 9th of December 1975 in Madras, India. She is a poet, a writer as well as a dancer. She graduated with master's degree in creative writing from Johns Hopkins University. She writes a blog titled Hit or Miss on Cricinfo, a cricket-related website. Some of her works are Countries of the Body, Conflict and Stability, The Pleasure Seekers, Fountainville, Everything Begins Elsewhere, Small Day and Nights. In this lesson, Journey to the End of the Earth, Tishani Doshi describes the journey to the coldest, driest, and windiest continent in the world, that is, Antarctica. The world's geological history is trapped in Antarctica. Geoff Green's Students on Ice program aims at taking high school students to the ends of the world. Doshi thinks that Antarctica is the place to go and understand the Earth's present, past, and future. The narrator, along with a bunch of teenagers, visited Antarctica under the Students on Ice program by Geoff Green. The narrator visited Antarctica, the coldest, driest, and the windiest continent in the world, aboard the Russian research vessel Academic Shukalsky. The journey began 13.09 degrees north of the equator near Madras, now Chennai. They passed through many areas, geographical, local, ecological, and temporal. To be specific, they crossed 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 water bodies, and at least 3 ecospheres. The narrator's first reaction on reaching the continent was that of relief, followed by wonder at its vastness, seclusion, and geographical history. Apart from wondering at its immensity, its isolation, the narrator mainly wondered how there could have ever been a time when India and Antarctica were part of the same landmass. 650 million years ago, Gondwana land, a giant amalgamated southern supercontinent, existed. Things were quite different then. The humans hadn't arrived, and the climate was much warmer, and Gondwana land hosted a huge variety of flora and fauna. Then several biological, geological, and geographical changes took place, and Antarctica separated from this landmass and moved away, evolving into what it is today. Children, if you look at the two images given to you in the slide, you will better understand how Antarctica was formed. Please see the first image where you see that there were only two huge land masses on the earth, Laurasia and Gondwana land. Later on, Antarctica separated from Gondwana land and is what it is today. Now, this visit to Antarctica gave the narrator a deeper understanding of the Earth's history, ecology, and environment. The narrator felt unsettled for 2 long weeks in a place having 90% of the world's total ice. It was a chilling prospect. The desolate landscape, in the absence of human civilization, made the narrator lose all sense of perspective and time. The long summers, the ubiquitous silence, broken occasionally by the cracking of ice sheets and avalanches, the blue whales and icebergs contribute to an ecological implication that all is not good for the humans. Though human civilizations have been around for only 12,000 years, which is barely a few seconds on the geological clock, but man has managed to create a ruckus by dominating over nature with its villages, towns, cities, and megacities. The rapid increase of human population, The carbon emissions, the burning of fossil fuels have led to global warming and have posed a great threat to the Mother Earth. As I've already told you, humans have played havoc with nature. Population explosion with limited resources, burning of fossil fuels, carbon emissions, and global warming have resulted in ecological and climatic imbalances. This has adversely affected Antarctica, which is obvious when you see the melting of the huge icebergs. Hence, if we want to study the Earth's past, present, and future, Antarctica is the place to go. The narrator children was working with a program called the Students on Ice Initiative, which aimed to do exactly this by taking high school students to the ends of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities, which would foster a new understanding and respect in them for their planet. The Students on Ice program is a Canadian charitable organization that leads educational expeditions to the Arctic and Antarctic for international high school and university students. Students on Ice was founded in 1999 by Geoff Green, a Canadian explorer and educator. The objective of a Students on Ice expedition is to inspire and challenge youth at a critical time in their lives to think and act positively and proactively as global citizens. If you want to know more about the Students on Ice initiative, kindly visit the website mentioned below. The objectives of the Student on Ice program. The stark proof of global warming and environmental threats helps students to attain an understanding of ecosystems and biodiversity of our planet. This in turn creates awareness in the students who are the future policy makers. The students are exposed to a life changing experience to absorb, learn, and most importantly, to act. The amazing display of the food chain of the Southern Ocean helps in understanding that further depletion of the ozone layer will set off a chain reaction that will affect the global carbon cycle. Antarctica, because of a simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. The narrator uses the parable of the phytoplankton as a metaphor for existence. The microscopic phytoplankton are single celled grasses of the sea that nourish the entire Southern Ocean's food chain. They use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds and release oxygen by photosynthesis. Depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton and in turn affect the lives of marine animals and birds in the region and the global cycle. The simple truth to be seen here, children, is take care of the small things and the big things will fall in place. In the last unit of the lesson, the narrator says that her Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies. Epiphanies mean moments of sudden and great revelations or realizations. The narrator had several such epiphanies, but the best one occurred just short of the Antarctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. It was the most thrilling experience of the visit. At 65.55 degrees south of the Antarctic Circle, they climbed down the ship, down the gangplank, and walked on the ocean. There were 52 persons. They were walking on a meter thick ice pack. Under the ice pack, there were 180 meters of living, breathing salt water. Crab eater seals were enjoying themselves in the sun on the ice. Seeing them, she was reminded of the stray dogs which rest under the shade of the banyan trees. She says that everything does connect, whatever be the geological distance. On her return, the narrator muses on the beauty of balance that underlies the life of the earth. She wondered what would happen if Antarctica would again become a warm place as it used to be millions of years ago, and if humans would become extinct like the dinosaurs. If it happens, the results can be ruinous. However, spending 2 weeks in Antarctica with a bunch of enthusiastic and idealistic teenagers, the narrator feels optimistic about the future of the Earth. She realized how much of a difference a million years can make, and that each day makes a difference. Children, when you open to this lesson, you will see before you read, it is said that if you want to know more about the planet's past, present, and future, Antarctica is the place to go to. Bon voyage. After you go through the chapter, you will find how true these lines are. In the words of Dalai Lama, it is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to the world in which we all live. The words of Robert Swan, too, are very relevant here. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. It is we who have to save our home. Thanks for watching. This is VK Jayashree of BNR Excellence Academy, Kharagpur. If you like my video, kindly share, like, and subscribe.